What's up, gamers and geeks? Matt with That's Fair Podcasting and Gaming Geeks Live. And I'm going to tell you, of all the Fallouts in the entire series, not that there's that many, Fallout 3 is by far and away my favorite one. It's the very first one I started with in the series, and for some reason it's the one that hooked me the most. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the alleged remake and or remaster that we've been hearing about since 2023. So stay tuned. I believe it was Detective Seeds and Nate the Hate that originally reported on this alleged rumor of a Fallout 3 remake and or remaster that, I don't know about you, but if you're a fan of the game, you're definitely going to be looking forward to this. There's a lot at stake here, though. I think that if you're a fan of the series like I am, you know that this has to be done very carefully. Got to tread very lightly because we don't want another, shall I say, Starfield on our hands. Maybe more of a Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake in that style. But like I said, there's a lot at stake here and they have to be extremely careful. But again, if you are new here, I am Matt, obviously. Please feel free to subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. Maybe like this video to help us out in that algorithm on YouTube. You guys are at your mercy. And if you don't do any of those and you just watch this video, that's really all that means. That's what matters to me the most. And thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it. But we're looking at a remake and or remaster of a very beloved game that, before Skyrim, in my opinion, was probably Bethesda's best in Fallout 3. You have so much you got to be careful with. The projected release date with this, I believe, is 2026 or even later than that. Again, there's nothing concrete because this is an alleged remake and or remaster. Again, I can't really call it one or the other because there's just so little about it that we know. We do know, like I said, from Detective Seeds and Nate the Hate, we have heard they have been very reliable in the past and they have their own kind of confirmation that this is indeed in the works. And there is even something on their, I think it was a Bethesda calendar that showed Fallout 3. So if you're like me, you're sincerely looking forward to this. Let's hope it is being done, but done correctly. It was a Bethesda roadmap, Microsoft court document, so to speak, that did state that it was on their dossier to do down the road. And hopefully it's starting to get a little closer and a little closer because, I'm so excited. The only other remake I'm as excited about this would be Assassin's Creed Black Flag. What we will most likely get, if indeed this is true, is first of all a visual upgrade. Probably an Unreal Engine 5 type of upgrade, I believe basically that we saw in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake. Obviously, which will give you a graphical upgrade, maybe a faster 60 FPS, type of situation. Like I said, it'd be a lot like the Oblivion remaster, I think, but only in the wasteland of DC that we've grown accustomed to. I believe we're also going to see a modernized, upgraded combat mechanic in this. Better aiming down of the sights, as far as maybe iron sights, even in your VATS. And I think there's going to be, from what I've read, an upgrade on the melee combat, which was sorely lacking. And I don't know about you, but with the weapons and stuff that they allowed, I kind of don't really remember, but I think there was like a chainsaw blade that you could set on fire and stuff. I used that for a while, but I didn't really like the melee combat mechanics in this too much. Hopefully there's an improvement on that, but as you know, with Unreal Engine 5 and it being improved in that regard, odds are we're going to get an improvement on the combat. Will there be upgraded weapons and armor? Some reports have suggested so. There might be a wider selection of our overall weapons and in your armor selections. I do know that, I don't know if, Black Flag, they're completely revamping the system where it's going to be more of an inventory system. We already did that with our Pip-Boy in Fallout 3, but I kind of hope that, at least for the weapons and the armor's sake, there is a massive upgrade to it. It was still linear in a lot of ways, You did have some armor to choose from the, I think it was the Talon mercenaries, and you had, obviously you had your power armors, but one thing that's supposed to be reported is possibly being able to join the Enclave, not just the Brotherhood of Steel, but the actual Enclave. And to me, that is something that could really open up a much deeper playing experience when I'm replaying this DC Wasteland in a new upgraded engine. And guys, if it is indeed going to be allowed more faction quests, then by all means, this is going to be an A+ in my book. From the reports were saying that there will be other factions possibly added to this to allow us, instead of just being in Megaton or the Brotherhood of Steel, there's going to be a lot of more choices for your character to make. So again, we just have to stay tuned and see how much that is real. What I'm hoping to see, I would hope to see a lot more modernized quality of life feature upgraded in that. I'd like to see the deeper conversations, mind you, choices being more impactful. Not that they weren't; they were impactful in this too. But I want a deeper conversation. Bethesda NPCs are typically empty shells, especially in Starfield. Now, as each game came out after the other, the NPCs roaming the land were a lot more empty-like. But in Fallout 3, they weren't so much. But there are a lot of NPCs that I want to have more impactful decisions to make with. I want the story to be a little bit deeper. This is something they've been allegedly working on for years now, so how many years exactly, I don't know, but this could be a big step in the right direction for remaking a much beloved game of this series. I would also like to see more of an upgraded overall gameplay experience as far as the mechanics of it, with just your character running around. Obviously, it was a 2008 game. It was on the Xbox 360 and I believe the PS3. If it was even, I think it was also on that. But I can tell you this, that, you know, if you play it now, it's pretty wonky in the sense when you're jumping, you're more floating. You know, Fallout 4 did a little bit better, but, you know, that's just the evolution of gaming. As each game goes by, the mechanics get better. I want to see the running and the jumping mechanics in this be a lot better. And just your overall movement in the wasteland. Not only was it reported that there might be an upgrade in weapons, I'd like to see more diverse locations along with the weapon upgrades. I'd like to see some more locations added. It was a big map, especially for 2008. The DC Wasteland, there was so many places to go. I'd like to explore other vaults. Now, I know we did that, but I would like to have a few more vault choices to explore. I would like some locations added, something new, a little bit fresh to help this along. And you know, knowing Bethesda, they'll probably have some add-ons. Let's talk about the Creation Club. I'm sure that the Creation Club will add on to that as well with mods, hopefully. Now, there is no Creation Club in Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster, which kind of sucks. But let's hope that, you know, in keeping with Fallout 4, we can get Fallout 3 with some Creation Club content. I might drop a little extra coin, especially if I'm going back to my favorite Fallout of the entire series. Besides Enclave choices, I would like to see some more homesteads, some more settler choices. You know, not necessarily in the way of a faction, but I would like to see there be more choices with the homesteaders. You know, kind of like you know, we helped in Fallout 4. Now, I don't want to have to constantly have, I won't even say his name. You know, it's not even worth saying his name. But we have another settlement under attack, you know? All right, fine, Preston Harvey. But anyway, what I'm thinking is I want to see more aiding of homesteads, of settlers. You know, I wouldn't mind being able to build upon in the way that Fallout 4 let us, with mods, to build on into the Wasteland DC and recruit settlers and stuff. I think that Fallout 4 was gold only in that regard when it came to building your own cities, more or less, your own settlements. I call them settlements, but with all the modded add-ons, we can call them cities. And I'd like to see that be added onto this. In closing, there's not a lot I don't feel that I'm asking to see here. Again, I'd like to see the Creation Club help us out. But I think what we want is obviously a better engine. Everything's upgraded, from the weapons, the armor, the gameplay mechanics, obviously the FPS. You do all this and give us this remake or remaster, Because again, we don't know for sure if it's even happening. But again, Detective Seeds and Nate the Hate said so. I'm more compelled to believe them than just about anybody else. Anyway, guys, that's really all I had. I'd like to know in the comment section below what it is maybe you guys would like to see. Help me out here, feed me. Let me know what you'd like to see. But guys, if you don't have anything else as far as comments to add, I want to thank you for joining me. Please feel free to subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. Again, like the video, help us out in that algorithm. And if you didn't do any of those and you just watch this video, thank you so much. It means the world to me. And to all you gamers out there, all love, and I'm outro.